On Sunday at the Barclay Center, the Liberty, they will play the first of 4 games against the Aces in the month of August. Big-time games that could be a preview of the WNBA Finals. So let's preview the first of these 4 matchups with the Liberty beat reporter for Winsider. That is Miles Ehrlich, and Miles joins me now. Miles, how you doing, man?
Good, good. Great to talk to you as always, Dex.
Always
Excited for
great.
this game.
Yes, me too. I'm very excited for this game. It's been circled on the calendar. Can't wait to see it. 2 best teams in the league going head to head. So let's get right into it, Miles. The Liberty, they're going to play the Aces on Sunday and then again on the 17th in Las Vegas, back in Brooklyn on the 28th, and along with the Commissioner's Cup final, which is sandwiched between these 2 games, on the 15th in Vegas. How important are these games for New York playing against the defending champs?
Yeah, I think these games are important both for the franchise and as the league as a whole, really. Tomorrow might draw the biggest crowd we've seen at Barclays all season, eclipsing the BG return game, eclipsing the always strongly attempted Camp Day game. And plus, ABC's got the game airing at 3 o'clock, and it's a great spot for viewers on a Sunday afternoon. When you look to on the court, I believe the more reps the Liberty get against the defending champs, the better. We've seen this team's ability to adjust and bounce back after tough outings. So seeing the Aces 4 times is both an opportunity to see where they stack up against a team that's currently compiling maybe the greatest regular season of all time in W history. And it's also a litmus test to see how far they've come since that opening matchup back at the end of June.
Yeah, you mentioned that opening matchup at the end of June where the Liberty, they fell to the Aces by 17 points. That was the first meeting of the season between the 2 teams. The Aces, look, you've talked about it. They've looked strong. They're ahead of the Liberty in the standings. They've already clinched a playoff berth. Is there a gap between these 2 super teams? And if there is, how wide is that gap?
Sure, there's a gap. I think it's easy to say that because the Stars on Las Vegas have years and years of cohesion, of chemistry, and what they've done to this point of the season is simply historic. It's not just that they're winning games, but they're blowing teams out. It's a dominant brand of basketball to watch, and they're a team that will always capitalize on your mistakes. I will say, though, what has changed for New York in the last 5 or 6 weeks since these teams last saw one another? Jonquel Jones. JJ has been a force, averaging just short of 15 points and more than 12 rebounds a night. And more than that, she's grabbed 3 or more offensive rebounds in all but 1 game during that stretch and was absolutely dominant against the Lynx in that 4th quarter, earning 5 extra possessions for the team with her effort on the offensive glass. So if you're looking for an X factor, playing through JJ could be exactly that for the Liberty, and that could help to kind of close that gap a bit.
All right, so keep your eyes on that in that matchup, how Jonquel Jones can play against the Aces. And I want to talk to you about the MVP race because right now it would appear that there was a 3-player race for league MVP. Breanna Stewart of the Liberty, Asia Wilson of the Aces, and Alyssa Thomas of the Sun. In your eyes, do these next 4 games between New York and Vegas hold a lot of weight in determining who will win the MVP award?
First things first, those 3 names that you gave out when you talk about AT, when you talk about Stu, and you talk about Asia, these are 3 forwards, but I don't know if you can have 3 players that approach the game in such different ways, with AT's facilitating and playmaking, with Stewie's ability to stretch the floor, with Asia's defense and her ability back to the basket. It's just really exciting, and we're just lucky to be able to witness all of these players simultaneously. But I do think that these 4 games could potentially sway the MVP award if the Liberty are able to kind of, I guess, break into the Aces season, because right now what they're doing, if they win, 36, 37 games, if they're above 900% in Vegas when the regular season's all said and done, I don't think that anybody outside of Asia has a real shot at the award. But if the Liberty could steal a couple of games and knock them under that 900 win percentage, and if they're doing that on the back of strong performances from Stewie, then all of a sudden that race really tightens up, and that might be enough to actually propel her in front.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see. And we're talking about the Aces, and we're talking about a 900 win percentage, Miles. Crazy. One of the best seasons we've seen ever in W history. So going back to that first game, many things didn't go right for the Liberty in that meeting between the 2 teams. What does New York need to improve on in this next matchup coming up on Sunday to be victorious at the Barclay Center?
It's pretty simple to me. Perimeter defense, no question about it. Las Vegas exploited Sabrina Ionescu, Courtney Vandersloot, and Maureen Johannes the first time around. They were hunting switches, hunting mismatches. And it's something also that I think in addition to that, something that New York has gotten better about since the beginning of the season is really weathering the storm when things are not going well for them, when shots are not falling for them. Think back to May and June to how lapses on the offensive end seem to snowball even when the starting five were on the court, as opposed to now it's happening much less, I think. So that is what happened back in that third quarter matchup against the Aces, because it was kind of close after the first quarter at half. I think it was 7 points maybe, but then there was a 14-point spread in that third quarter. And so I'm just really focused, if I had to look for something tomorrow, New York's ability to just maintain their poise and composure when things aren't going well and to stay locked in on the defensive end. And I think that the game against the Minnesota Lynx was a pretty good test for that.
Yeah, and we will see what happens on Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. tip at the Barclay Center. Aces versus Liberty. Miles Ehrlich, he's been hyped for it. I'm hyped for it too. Can't wait. Check out Miles' work with Winsider. Miles, as always, love the insight. Enjoy the game. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Dex. You too. Talk soon.